Wickedy, what's up, and welcome back to episode 4 of our Disco Elysium playthrough. Let's get back into it. Oh yeah, we left off. We were gonna talk to this guy. Okay.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
He is a muscular guy.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
Yeah, what do you mean, big dog?
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul.
Oh no, not alcohol.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. Yes, Al-Ghul.
He means alcohol.
I doubt it. My microcephalic race servant.
You're right, I'm an
No,
alcoholic.
you don't. You need to get another drink.
Oh.
Occidental haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Okay.
Show him the ham still got it.
Yeah, the ham
Willingly
sandwich race
calling
still has some in
yourself
it.
a ham sandwich. How far the Occidental haplogroup has fallen.
Uh-oh.
You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably
Man, this
potato
guy's
obsessed
racist as
Quakers.
crap.
But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
I feel like pushing him out of the way will only lead to death. Plus, I'm like, it's so unphysical.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war.
Oh,
Bring
no.
your troops to the Simonine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
Okay, can't do that. Subscribe to his advanced race theory. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ugh.
Don't be shy. Just ask for race secrets.
Dang it. I was about to out-racist him. I was going to break his brain. Now we're toast.
Do
Yeah, that
not
works.
be naive. I know the answer to the great.
Okay.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
Alright.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Yeah. But how does this, how does that factor?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital, something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
I'm no. Let's try to manipulate this guy.
Of course you are.
I'm no
The
communist.
failure of communism to challenge the world order is the core of your race fate. All around you, the fruits of its defeat. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted disease, above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music?
Youth culture does not affect my thinking.
Of course it does. You are a degenerate individualist and a rock and roll rebel. A pawn of international finance, just like the rest of your ham-colored race. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago. Millennia before you. We are the future.
So you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to
I am
Rochelle?
a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulembuir are with me in
So
my
you did
genetic
not
dreams.
come from them.
I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the pale.
So you didn't do
No.
it.
I have heard about it on the radio.
Oh.
He would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the women.
So you're not really it.
I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Simony strategy. Spreading through its trade networks, our culture will dominate the world.
Right.
You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never getting into the harbor.
Yeah. What are those tattoos mean?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Okay.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Your silence betrays your inferiority. You do not have a reply. You should
Nah, go back.
I am not like them.
You're right.
Correct.
Okay.
Racist. I
you're
am
not
do
right.
exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability.
Okay.
From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby.
No, not a baby.
This is not cut.
What else?
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Hul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer.
Oh.
You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper. And your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all
Okay.
I don't think anything about this. We are wasting our
Oh,
Your
wasting our
pedomorphic
times.
friend is right.
Alright, well, let's leave.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Bruta.
Oh. What is that sound?
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
Vows?
The vows are blood and flesh.
What? What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine. The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's-
Fascism, Bruta.
Fascism? What is fascism?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut.
Oh.
Who does your gut tell you is the source of Rivershot's problems?
I thought you were in my circulatory
Quit
system.
stalling, Bruta. We're talking about,
Financiers.
yes, them, but also women.
Women?
Women, men of war. You don't like them.
Oh.
They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Women need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
Uh-oh. Oh, God, what have I done?
That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is
Okay.
that women need to know their place.
Uh-oh. Am I having a
Stomach
seizure?
truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Where am I getting
Because
this?
you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things.
I was just messing
you've said them
around.
many times.
No, I was just messing them around. Okay.
You're going to keep your voos, right?
No.
Keep your voos, Brota.
Opt out.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines,
Yeah.
knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
Ouch.
Yes?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I had someone tell me I need to turn off dyslexia so I can read the other thing. Let's talk to this guy again.
Hola, Wandering Man.
Measurehead
help?
thing didn't go well. Could you help me with
Sorry.
that?
Busy surveying the situation. I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Okay.
Wiretapping, telescopic batons, futuristic circuit bending to infiltrate harbor machinery. Maybe you could even knock that Kowalson crane over using some remote controls. Or calling in tactical air support. You guys have air support, right?
I'm pretty sure we don't have
I
any of
get
those
it.
things.
Hush hush about the secret technology.
Fair.
Something changes in his disposition. A merciful smile in the corner of his eye.
All right, I may have some advice for you on how to deal with Jean-Luc there, out of solidarity to the RCM. It's
Okay.
low in technology, however.
Yes.
First, don't fight him, obviously. Second, get him to share his theory by being subordinate. Admit your lack of expertise. Basically, grovel. That's how I do it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Maybe that would work. We'll have to see.
Alright, let's see.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
And we run it again.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core
Alright,
to this
Measurehead.
stuff.
Do you?
Measurehead, I am new to this world. Help me understand its races. I need to know the different races. Do you? I do. I do.
There are 3 categories of race.
Okay.
Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
Give me type A.
Those are the Simonese, the
Okay.
Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A
Interesting.
receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades in Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
Wait, who are
You
the
know
Mon?
them by the names of their nation states: the Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Mahun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant.
Ah. The wooden clogs, though.
In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace
Okay.
whom no one can take seriously.
Um, okay. Alright, then what are type A?
Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the
Alright.
ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have type A race propensities.
Interesting.
The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces
This guy's
more
wild.
sebum. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagites are on the ascent.
Yeah, give me
The
more wisdom.
Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the
Yeah,
super
but you ain't them.
of Pericarnassus.
You ain't them.
Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more type A races in the world.
Uh-oh.
Nature was not capable of more.
Okay. Type B.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
Ew.
The Koikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white, officer, in a suspect description.
Okay. Get one.
Yes. To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking Al-Rul and smoking the degenerate tobacco herb, and for eating potato.
Man, this
The
guy hates
Koiko,
things.
the countless micronationalities of Grad are all inexplicably obsessed with potat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
Ah.
The Vacholians, halfway between type A and the racial cauldron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But
Yeah.
that seems a little off.
Let's do
The
3.
revolution came to Ravachol from Grad in Zaraz-ridden potato
I
carts.
think that
It
follows
is
up his
literally an
ideology.
illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Koiko to the Occidentals. But not sexually. Probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component.
They got it
of
from
potato
eating the
plant.
potato chips.
Enough of type mediocrity.
Okay.
Chips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are
Experiments?
tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me. Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture
Oh,
of a
no,
masked
this guy's a
woman
Nazi.
and a Simonese man. Only possible if the mother is Basque and the father Simonese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring.
Guy's crazy talking.
The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
Yeah.
You are right. You have misunderstood. You
Oh, no.
lack basic phylogenetic education.
The sage will not budge on this.
Anymore?
Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetic
Yes.
site.
Oh yeah, I
The
need to know more.
Koiko, as you know, are very servile.
Yeah, that makes
Especially
sense.
when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Simonese with the Koiko to produce a super worker of Simonese strength and great
This
servility.
guy's wild.
This will never happen. The Simonese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Simonese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koiko woman, or Koika. But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type F. Were there any
no.
able
Yeah, I need
race
advanced
who
race theory.
understand nothing? To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery.
Yeah, will you even let me in the harbor if I do?
We will see.
Access to the Union is important for our investigation.
Yeah.
Today,
Am I mildly worried he might take it seriously? The lieutenant thinks. Yes, I am, he concludes.
Okay.
I am what
Except
You
that-
need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly.
Alright. Well, let me internalize it and then come back. Oh no.
I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss.
Alright, well, I just have to return as soon as I finish that thought. Hmm. Don't have a map. Oh, go app in the... Okay. Let's go do that. Maybe I threw away my badge and my gun in the trash.
Fuck, does Kuno care?
Hmm.
Kuno doesn't.
Okay. Quick save.
This trash container is locked. With
Open
a
it.
well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Uh-oh.
Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine, Hobocop. Dive into that dumpster
Uh-oh.
for extra content.
Open the
The
lid.
smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Okay.
we're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Look under the... Hobocop
Wow.
style.
An Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon, half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny.
What's
It's
a
a
knock
giant
cannon?
rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels, however. And is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000, easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself.
I'll
No,
sell
you
it.
won't. Because none of those things are
Oh
real.
no.
They're not actually in there. All you see is food waste and crisp wrappings.
Cool Jess must be
All
from
you
something.
see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the Yellow Man frolicking in saffron.
An antique.
Only in its social sensibility.
Take the mug. Oh no.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
You
Under the
see
cartons.
milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Pick up
Among the
bags.
threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Oh, take them.
As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay.
Interesting.
Drop them in here, officer.
Bag
Guitar
of
marked blue
trousers.
jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but
Yes.
the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Reach for
A
it.
drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This
Bag
is
it.
a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the
going.
rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just garbage.
That's
All
all I
right.
think.
We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash.
Okay.
It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
Need to ask the kids to put
What's
them.
he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
Oh no.
See?
Okay.
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The
Okay.
lieutenant nods. Then
Search the
it's
food
just
waste.
organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey,
Hey,
nothing.
what?
It's nothing. What's this?
What?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Look,
Take it out.
something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
No, it
Yes,
can't
it
be.
is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form.
Oh.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
Someone from the whirling through.
Boring. Try dangerous. You should do a thorough inventory of that. Be sure some has not fallen into the hands of the RCM's enemies, organized crime or worse. Official notes sometimes contain informants' names, even undercover operatives.
Okay, I'll
It would
do
also
that.
not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
I'm gonna hold on to my point.
The
Close the lid.
container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Alright. Interact. My damaged ledger. How do I interact? Oh.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper,
Oh no.
desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Inspect
It's
toilet
just
paper.
toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if
take it
you're
off.
still wet. The toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Inspect
An
the
aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
run my
The
fingers
surface
across
is
it.
interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there?
Lieutenant.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
Interesting. What kind of
It depends.
information?
Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved.
I'm a superstar cop.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll
How can I
Any
read it?
capable light with the right wavelength will do.
The headlights?
RCM vehicles have headlights tuned especially to reveal halogen watermarks.
Oh,
This
yeah.
means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Thank you.
Okay,
While a bunch of sodden papers sat,
What's on the
they're
white?
not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and
Okay.
covered in dense
At least
blue
it's not
handwriting.
piss.
Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
Okay.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What are they
Work,
about?
strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Is 2 cases a week a good course load? Count the pages.
Huh?
Is that?
2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
I'm not sure if I
2.
completed them.
That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I burned
That's
out
okay.
all right.
We all do, sooner or later.
Thanks, King.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What is
Yes,
this?
it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name, a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show statements.
Oh, I'm that kind of guy? I'm sick.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
More.
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
That's the
Good.
one.
That's a good one. But do you also use the titular?
Yes,
Well,
I do.
so do I. In our defense, officer, almost everyone in the RCM does.
What's
It's
that?
a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
This
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his
Kim,
loved
you
ones
dirty
never
dog.
find out.
What happened? to
Rail spiked through the head.
Ooh.
He died. It was a workplace accident.
Count the
There
pages.
is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete.
Commit to paper. That pin.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds
Yes.
across the paper.
Yes, I
You're
did
done,
it.
it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Yeah, have you named it?
No, actually. Any ideas?
The Hanged Man. The Furies are at home in the mirror. The Hanged Man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to
Yes.
start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Yes.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Yeah. Can I read the files now?
Yes, you can
Oof.
piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For
Wait.
example,
HDB 41.
HDB 41120011700. The next world. Why,
Those-
yes, your precinct number is 41. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Ah. Horace Debbie Behringer.
That is improbable.
How long
It
does it
takes
take to
about
read?
half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
The murder at the
Murder.
parlor.
Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead. of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling.
Okay.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Was Joseph Mills a good cop?
He was awful.
Oh.
Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey.
Oh.
Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Can you get high?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, that sounds stupid.
So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular.
Okay.
No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted
Maybe he just
open.
slipped and fell.
Blood everywhere. Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
He passed out.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply. And you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He was doing that for 6 hours.
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They looked like assholes.
Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it is.
Okay.
They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual.
Okay.
Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up. And you did.
Did I catch the guys?
You didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
I have a real job
Not
to do.
much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clip.
Let's put it away. Okay, let's read the watermark.
Advanced race theory.
Okay, race theory.
Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and bright. The mind-bending phylogenetics appear more distant and, to be fair, a little ridiculous. The great race mystery has cleared up. All that's left to do is verbalize your thoughts. Go and talk to Measurehead about your newly found insights.
Okay. All right. I understand it now. Where's his car at?
Inside, you see a set of steering
Okay.
levers, a radio microphone.
I turn on the
Alright.
headlights.
Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheat.
He's
Okay.
downplaying. The
Press start.
dashboard lights up with the
Press
lights unfold
headlights.
with a little click.
There
Okay.
you go. I'll
Leave.
Inside, you see a set of
No.
steering levers, a radio mic.
Leave.
As you hold your ledger's clip under
Okay.
the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river.
There
Okay.
she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations.
Look at the
The
street grid.
rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. A
Wait.
rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands.
Ah, Martinez.
Where are
Let
we?
me see. Right
Okay.
here.
Seems nice.
No, it does not.
Look at the
There are
preparations.
many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Tally up the
The
rows.
first row has 18 dots.
Not bad.
Not bad for what? You
I
don't
don't
even know what it means yet.
What about the next one?
is the longest. It runs all the way around the border. And there are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150. The
What about
last
the last
row
row?
has 3 perforations.
3?
That's it.
Kim, what do
Those
these
are
mean?
perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. The first row represents your years of service. 18
18?
years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
I was a hobo and lived under a boat. Probably so. I was a hobo and
You
lived under a
know,
boat.
the RCM is a volunteers organization. We would have no qualms with vagrants joining our ranks. What
Yeah.
This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases.
Huh?
Wow, more than 200.
Is that a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM
So you're
officers.
saying I'm a super cop?
Call it what you want. You are a valuable member of your precinct. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
That's not
For an
too many.
RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There
Yeah.
are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
How do you handle?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Maybe I should find a hobby.
Anything's better than annihilating yourself with drugs and alcohol.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Maybe I should pour one out for the boys.
If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
Pour
A
one out.
dark pool of cheap wine appears at your feet. It shimmers in the lights of the Kanema.
Pour one out for the homies. Yeah.
Very noble of you. Are we done here?
Yeah.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page.
Nice. Superstar cop. Okay. Let's go give Measurehead the old what for.
Bastards!
Nah, I'm leaving that. Alright, Measurehead. You're gonna let me in. Actually, I'm looking at the timing on this episode. That's gonna be all for this episode. So I will see you all next time.